You know, Laker values are so strong. The purple and gold standard really dictated that the status quo wasn't acceptable. You know, to go from 25 wins to 21 wins to 17 wins, to watch it erode like that, it wasn't Laker basketball. It wasn't what this organization stands for, and so it was time for a change. This was a very difficult decision. It was probably so hard for me to make that I probably waited too long. And for that, I apologize to Laker fans.
I think the timing was right. It was right for me to put my businesses aside and really concentrate on Laker business, try to build an organization that the fans can be proud of, build a winning culture around the Laker organization, both on the court and in the offices, re-energize everybody that works for the Laker organization, and make sure our fans understand that, you know, we're here to win.
Well, I got to tell you, winning would be a change if you are the Lakers. I'm just not sure continuing to do the same thing over and over and over again is a recipe for success. Some might actually say that is, I don't know, the definition of insanity. Welcome in, Raineri and Zemach, 640 Fox Sports South Florida. I want to thank you so much for making us a part of your day as I can't believe it's hump day already. These whole 4-day work weeks, having a Monday off, I love them. I'm not going to argue with them, but kind of screws you up here a little bit. We got a lot to talk about. The state of the Lakers is just in shambles. I can appreciate the fact that a change had to be made, but the direction that Jeannie Buss is going, she's making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again, which is what a lot of these blue blood teams, whether it be college or on the professional level, they always continue to make. And we'll talk about that here. I do want to invite you to hop over to Facebook as the cameras are rolling. We've got all sorts of fun camera angles going on here. As you can see, I'm by myself in the studio. If you do that, Kristen is here because she just wants to keep me company. Zemach is out running around trying to do I don't know what. Apparently, I'm Stephen Diener has come down with vaginitis. He's got some sort of vaginal pain today. He can't be in there, just like Zemach had last week. So that's it. You're stuck with me. But that's okay. Facebook, it's Fox Sports 640. Log on, check it out. It's actually pretty cool. Got all sorts of really cool stuff happening there. All sorts of really great pictures and HD cameras, and it's a lot of fun. Plus, you get all the lunatics in there. All the fun stuff going on. Now, let's talk about this Jeannie Buss thing here again. The one thing that blue blood organizations do is that they feel the only way they can win is if they somehow or another keep it in the family, which has been a problem for the Lakers now for how long? Once Dr. Jerry Buss passed away a couple of years ago and control went over to the kids, things have not been the same for the Lakers, which I think is ultimately why Jeannie Buss was given the final say-so by her father, because her father didn't trust Jim. Otherwise, he would have given Jim outright control to do whatever he wanted. But Jerry, even when he passed away a couple of years ago from cancer, in the end was like, yeah, no, Jim's a moron. And Jeannie, you got to make sure that he just doesn't destroy what we have built here over the generations. But the problem Jeannie is making by going to Magic Johnson is that just because these people are affiliated with the Lakers doesn't mean they're going to be successful. Just because Magic Johnson played for the Lakers and had an amazing career, a Hall of Fame career, doesn't mean that's going to equate to success in 2017. Now we're talking about bringing on yet another Laker, Kobe Bryant. Oh, Kobe Bryant, I want him involved. So here we go, more Lakers. Anybody that has an affiliation with the Lakers is now going to have a job with this organization, and that is the worst mistake that you could possibly make as a group. What you need to do is you need to get the hell away from anybody and everybody that has been affiliated with the Lakers over time, and you need to go somewhere outside the box. You need to go and get yourself anybody that has never either worn the Laker uniform, shook hands with Dr. Jerry Buss, had dinner with him, stay as far away from any affiliation as possible. We watched this happen with the Alabama Crimson Tide. For how many years did Alabama think, well, never going to replace Bear, right? So any disciple, anybody associated with the program, for years, it had some sort of connection to the great Bear Bryant. And it was only until they said, well, this is not working. We're running out of people that actually knew Bear Bryant because he's been dead for 400 years. So who did they go and get? Somebody that had absolutely zero affiliation with the Alabama Crimson Tide. His name's Nick Saban. How's that worked out? There's just too much. There's too much of that nepotism thing going on with the Lakers right now. And for all the faults of the Knicks, and they have plenty of them, and Dolan has plenty of them, at least he went out and he threw a whole bunch of money at Phil Jackson because he believed that Phil Jackson was a guy that could actually help this team build a championship. And yes, Phil played for him a zillion years ago. But Phil, at least, many believe, was going to be in line to taking over this exact position Magic has with the Lakers if good old Jim Buss didn't get involved. So maybe in a spite movie, he's like, the hell with it, I'll go to the Knicks. Either way, it hasn't worked out for Phil Jackson. Didn't work out for Jim Buss. And in one day, in a matter of a couple of hours, Jeannie Buss goes full Michael Corleone and just whacks everybody. Anybody and everybody associated with it. But instead of going outside of the box and finding somebody totally different, a fresh set of eyes, so to speak, she brings in damn Magic Johnson. And who does he want to bring in? The one and only Kobe Bryant. Which is why I bring in Steve Zemach, and hopefully your microphone works now, Steve. Try it now.
How we doing?
Oh, there it
Nice.
is. Look at that. Technology's wonderful when it works.
I got to say, I couldn't disagree more.
Really?
I think this is a complete game changer. I don't think he's going to run basketball operations to the degree of what we're hearing. He's already brought in a general manager. But the Lakers will be in the room for every significant free agent from here on out.
That's an interesting take. You'd be absolutely wrong, but it's an interesting take. If every free agent on the market was, I don't know, let's say 40, then absolutely, because I am pretty sure there isn't one 23-year-old that was alive when Magic Johnson was playing.
The Dodgers, they were able to reel in free agents just with his
and
name
they've
attached.
Won plenty.
I'm not talking about winning.
Great.
I'm not talking about winning.
Then what the hell are we talking about?
Rebuilding a team that is...
Nobody came to play for the Dodgers because Magic Johnson was there.
But his name was affiliated. It helped out. They're 19-39.
It helped out because the guy they threw out was a parking lot who owned parking lots, got a nasty divorce, and they couldn't pay anybody. So Magic at least brought money, but he didn't bring what did he bring to the Dodgers? They still haven't won squat.
No, but with the Lakers, he's a Laker legend. He's going to be in the room for every significant free agent.
What do 25-year-olds care about legends? They don't. They don't know Magic. They grew up with LeBron. They didn't grow up with Magic. Guys like me and you, guys like me, my age, grew up with Magic. We would be like, oh, Magic. What does a 24-year-old know about Magic or care about Magic?
Well, maybe that's where the Kobe factor comes in. I still think he's a legend in Los Angeles. I see.
Well, that's the problem. You need to get the hell out of Los Angeles. There's too much connection. Not to mention, listen, Magic Johnson, a fantastic player, but the guy is the biggest idiot on the face of this earth. All right, let's go to that route first for a second, if we could. Let's talk about just a few of the fantastic tweets over the years about Magic's basketball acumen, if we could. For instance, when he tweeted out how Carmelo Anthony is one of the best basketball players ever, He wrote this last year. Carmelo continues to show us why he's one of the best ever with a great performance in the fourth in Cleveland and a game winner against the Hornets. Okay. Also believe that Jimmer Fredette is the real deal. For all of you out there questioning Jimmer Fredette of BYU, he is the real deal. Hashtag men care.
Hey, he scored 47 last night.
Yes. Also, this
74.
was great. Last year when he was talking about MVP candidates, apparently everybody who plays in the NBA is an MVP candidate. I definitely got a chance to watch 4 early MVP candidates play. Harden, Howard, Wade, and Bosh. Then he follows it up. Well, Kobe should also be in that, as well as LeBron, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Anthony Davis, Carmelo, Curry, Thompson, and Rose. Also, Wall, LaMarcus Aldridge, Tony Parker, Dirk. When Westbrook and Durant get back, they'll also be in the... Apparently, there isn't anybody who isn't an MVP. The guy is a moron, all right? The guy is a name only. The guy is a legend, yes, but only to a certain generation. And he's never been a front office guy,
but
ever.
He's not going to be a front office Larry Bird. That's why he brought in Rob Pelinka.
Okay, well, let's do that, too. What exactly does an agent know about talent? Because doesn't the GM... Aren't they in charge of actually putting a roster together?
But he's got a lot of connections to NBA
players. But what
players.
does that mean? What does that mean? How do you judge talent and basically whether or not guys are going to work together?
Now, listen, he's going to have to surround himself with other talent evaluators. Absolutely. It's not going to be him and Pelinka?
Yeah, no, you got it. Pelinka is actually spot on.
All
Took me 20 minutes to figure that out,
right.
But yes.
Pelinka and Magic, I don't think are going to be the only two in the front office making decisions.
Oh, no, you're right. They actually brought on Jerry West's son. He's going to be actually given a promotion. I mean, you see my problem here? It's like, get the hell away from the Lakers. Get away. Alabama did this for years, and they couldn't get out. They could not get out of their own way, and they're doing the same thing here.
Does this have anything to do with the fact that they didn't land DeMarcus Cousins because they didn't want to give up Ingram?
No. This was in the works way before that. That was a last-minute Hail Mary by Mitch Kupchak and by Jim Buss to try and save their ass. That was never going to work. That would have been a stupid move to begin with because he's a free agent in another year or so anyway. You'd have had to Please, they have bad contracts. They have bad players. They have whiffed the last 3 years on lottery picks. Ingram is the only hope that they have. He's the best player of anybody that they have. D'Angelo Russell is a bust. All of them have been busts. Their moves have been just atrocious. And Jeannie did say one thing, and I will give Jeannie a lot of credit. She did say, and her answer is right here, that this took me way too long to do because of the relationship, because it's my brother, and because it's family, and this probably made me stay with this longer than I should have.
And Kupchak won a couple championships, more than a couple. So, yeah, I could see why she was stuck in...
Kupchak was like the Rex Ryan effect. Kupchak inherited what Jerry West put together.
That's true.
And then he won 5 championships.
Made a trade here and there. That's true.
That was all Jerry West doing. Once Jerry went to Memphis in 2000, that was all his roster. That was all Jerry's doing.
Eddie Jones trade.
And you still had the man in charge. You still had Dr. Jerry Buss in charge. Jerry Buss was the kind of owner. And this all sucks so bad because having the Knicks and the Lakers be so bad and so terrible, and now for what is going to be a long period of... There is no easy fix here in L.A. There's not. There's no easy fix in New York either. It's either start from scratch and then hope to build in the draft, which is a very dangerous thing. Both of these, the Knicks and the Lakers, are terrible in the way of contracts. They have some awful contracts on the books for a long time. But Dr. Jerry Buss, what made him great as an owner is he is a guy that he hired the Kupchaks, the Jerry West, and he allowed them to do it, and he was the final say guy. He was the guy where a Jerry West or a Mitch Kupchak would say, listen, we think we need this guy, or we need you to talk to this guy. We need to pull this off, and then he'd be like, okay, go ahead and do it. He'd give the thumbs up, thumb down. He would not get involved, so to speak, with the day-to-day operations. He allowed his people in the Jerry West and the Mitch Kupchak to rely on their teams and make the right decisions. And he did it masterfully for how long? How long did he do it? And when he was dying on his deathbed of cancer back in 2013, one of the final moves that he made was, Jeannie, I'm going to give you ultimate control here. Now, all the kids, I think there's 5 of them, they all have the same percentage stake in the Lakers, but she's got the boardroom. She's got control. And the reason he did that is because he knew Jim Buss was a moron, and that's exactly what he was. But she sat there and allowed him to do all of what he did here. And he created a nightmare.
Fair. The team's in bad shape.
Oh.
But comparing them to the Knicks, who haven't won since '73, the Lakers have 10 titles since then, including back-to-back in 09 and 10. So they're not that far off from winning back-to-back titles.
No, but the problem is, and the reason I brought up the Knicks is that to have 2 blue bloods, Lakers and Knicks are blue blood NBA teams.
Yeah, and it's obviously better for the NBA when
they're hell
competitive at the very least.
The Lakers don't even know what's going on right now. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to me how completely dysfunctional this team is. They also fired the media PR guy that has been there for 25 years, too, John Black. I mean, she literally went in like the Godfather and cleared total house. But I can't blame her. I just, first of all, never should have given Kupchak the extension when they did. Jeannie didn't want to, and Jim did, and Jim talked Jeannie into, go ahead, give Mitch Kupchak an extension. Should have never done that.
Now, Magic pulling the trigger on this trade, maybe a little concerning right off the bat.
Yes.
Lou Williams for Corey Brewer. I know they get a first-round pick, blah, 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 but what did it take him? 5 hours before he pulled the trigger on his first trade as a Lakers GM? So there, I'm wondering.
Yeah. It's terrible, man. I think this is going to end in total disaster. It's the wrong era. If you wanted to do this 10 years ago, Magic still would have had some influence. Magic has got no influence over a 23, 24-year-old. And Kobe Bryant, what the hell does he know? The dude has got $400 million. Why in the hell? Like, find something to do with yourself. You answer to nobody. You can wake up. You can do whatever the hell you want to do in this world. What? And now all of a sudden, what? You're going to be some sort of basketball front office guy? You were the worst. You're part of the reason they're in this position to begin with.
I still think kids look up to Magic Johnson.
I don't think an ounce of them do. And I can tell you this, I don't think a kid in their right mind, an agent is not an evaluator of talent.
No,
an agent is a yes man.
I'm not going to argue that, and they look out for themselves first and foremost.
Well, they look out for their player. They're a yes man. That's all they are. That's not That's not a guy that's going to be tough. The knock on Mitch Kupchak was that he wasn't a very personable guy. He was not a guy that would walk into a room and light it up and be like, wow, I want to come and play for Mitch Kupchak. He was a very dry guy, which is why, think about over the last couple of years, the free agents that had an opportunity to interview, and hell, Kevin Durant didn't even go. Kevin Durant was like, yeah, no thanks. I don't even want to interview. It's the, like, people, nobody's going, well, it's the Lakers, I want to go. But Kevin Durant didn't even go for an interview. Carmelo Anthony's like, yeah, back in 2014, I don't think. LaMarcus Aldridge. Remember how pissed he was with that interview? Like, you people don't even know my name? Remember the slideshow they put up there?
It's been a joke.
It wasn't even his name. It's the Lakers. The mystique is this living off of what we used to do or what we used to be. The game has changed. The players have changed. And quite honestly, continuing to hire within the Laker family is probably the worst mistake that you could make here, ever. You needed to go out. You know what I would have done is I would have thrown so much money at the president of the Golden State Warriors that it would have been impossible for him to say no. Because there is no salary cap on presidents, right?
No.
Because that's why Phil Jackson got $6 million. Because you
12.
12 $6 million a year, right?
12 a year.
12 a year. Oh, I was way off on that. Okay.
Insane.
If you don't have a cap there, spend it on a guy that just put together the new NBA and who is going to compete. Go throw as much money as you can at the Golden State Warriors president.
No, that's fair. You could argue that. Or another young talent evaluator somewhere in the NBA, maybe,
outside of a late. Man, you can't keep doing this.
But you think even if Magic Johnson's in charge, Kevin Durant still says no to Magic Johnson?
How is he going to be in charge with, he's got like 9,000 other business. How is this guy ever going to have time? He's just going to, so what are you going to do to the shareholders and the money guys with the Dodgers now that you've basically told them, well, I'm going to step back here and I'm just going to concentrate on the Lakers because this is my friend. Come on. Not to mention you have been wrong on every tweet you've had for the last 3 years in the NBA. Everything. You haven't had one tweet that's been spot on. I just, it's a disaster to me. I appreciate the fact that she went out and she pulled the trigger because that's never easy to do, especially inside family. But she knew it had to be done.
Hey, they started the season 10-10, and they're 19-39 now, so there's obvious problems.
Yeah. I think it's an awful move.
As of right now, though, you have Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan running 3 NBA franchises.
Well, the only guy, Michael and Larry, have been doing it for a while now.
Well, and Larry's had success. Michael, you can argue. Larry's had success.
Yeah, exactly. And it's never really a good thing. But the one thing about Michael and the one thing about Larry is that Larry started as the coach.
True.
And Larry's like,
issues,
I can't. Yeah, Larry's like health issues, and I realize that these players suck. I can't relate to these guys. Like these guys can't. Like I can't. I could never play with these guys. It's very hard for the game's greats to coach on the sideline. It's a very hard thing to do.
Work ethic of like Larry Bird.
Oh, it's a very hard thing to do. But then he eventually moved up to the office. But one thing that Larry understood is that, listen, got to make some changes. It wasn't easy for him to move on from a coach in which he loved, but he had to make the decision. Michael, it's okay. I don't know what the hell he's doing down in Charlotte.
No, that's questionable. It's been for years.
This idea that just because it's the Magic name that all of a sudden magic is going to happen. Ugh. Hire basketball people to run your basketball organization. Don't hire just random people because they're affiliated with the group somehow. I mean, you never see this in the NFL. The NFL doesn't hire agents as general managers. Hey, you're an agent. Why don't you just come over here and why don't you pick this team for it? You hire football people. You hire basketball people. You don't hire agents. I hate it. And Magic, congratulations, dude. But really, jack of all trades, master of none. You were a Hall of Fame player. Leave it at that, dude. Leave it at that. He's got his finger. He's got 400 businesses, 14 billion. He's on 27 boards, 87 charities. But all of that is going to go on hold.
All of it.
All of it.
To him.
Yes. Sounds like the president. Please. It's impossible. 844-640-6464. 844-640-6464. Hell, we're just getting started. That was some of the fun that was distributed yesterday from the NBA. We want to thank them for giving for the Lakers continuing to take the focus off of just how bad the Knicks are and Carmelo Anthony.
Who apparently is going nowhere.
We're going to talk about that, too, coming up. But I do have to get to what the hell is going on in Major League Baseball. Because there were shots fired yesterday by Rob Manfred.
He is hell-bent on...
Shots fired.
Speeding the... quote-unquote speeding the game up.
He is not a happy dude. He is, a matter of fact, if he could, he would have bitch-slapped everybody in that room yesterday. Anybody on the player side... Players Association, he was on fire. You ever hear that, that chin music in baseball, that 95-mile-an-hour fastball up under the chin saying, hey, wake up, get off the plate? He just did that to the Players Union yesterday. We'll give you the full scoop. We'll tell you why Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred are so pissed off that if they don't get on the same page, Rob Manfred's like, I don't need you. I will just go ahead and sign my name to an order. We'll get you the scoop. That's coming up next. Raineri and Zemach, 640, Fox Sports, South Florida.
The Los Angeles Lakers announced a major front office shakeup yesterday. Magic Johnson will be the team's new president of basketball operations. General Manager Mitch Kupchak and VP of basketball operations Jim Buss were both relieved of their duties. And in Magic Johnson's first move, he traded away Lou Williams to the Houston Rockets for Corey Brewer and a first-round draft pick. In baseball news, the Washington Nationals reached an agreement with former Baltimore Orioles catcher Matt Wieters. The deal is for 2 years and $21 million. Wieters has an opt-out clause after the first season of the contract. In hope of improving pace of play, Major League Baseball has approved a change to the intentional walk rule, going from the traditional 4-pitch walk to a dugout signal. The intentional walk rule will go into effect this season. The Honda Classic brings you the world's best PGA Tour players to Palm Beach County, and the opening round kicks off tomorrow. 640 Fox Sports South Florida is your home for Florida Panther hockey. Tonight, the Cats welcome in the Edmonton Oilers. Puck drop from the BB&T Center is scheduled for 7:30. For all the latest in sports news, log on to foxsports640.com. I'm Steve Zemach.
Looking forward to the Honda Classic kicking off tomorrow. Round 1, Palm Beach Gardens, PGA National. Should be an awful lot of fun, as it's the only tournament in South Florida that we have now on the PGA Tour, as Doral was nice enough to end their relationship, or the PGA Tour was nice enough to end their relationship with Doral, and they've moved that to Mexico, so this is it.
They used to split hairs, and
yeah.
now we get them all at once.
I'm looking at the tee times here on the Honda Classic, and welcome in. Good morning, Raineri and Zemach, 640 Fox Sports South Florida. Join the fun at Facebook there as our stream is up. We're having all sorts of fun on that. Fox Sports 640, like our page. Join the conversation. I don't see Rory McIlroy anywhere here. Am I missing something? Is he not playing in this? Because I don't see his tee time anywhere. I've got. I don't see him. I don't see Jordan Spieth. I don't see Dustin Johnson. I don't see Phil Mickelson. I do see Cody Gribble. I don't know. Anybody know Cody?
Roger Carrington. He's Irish.
Yeah, and he's also 400. Keegan Bradley, because he lives in Jupiter. Jonathan Vegas, former winner. Jason Duffner. I wish he'd get fat again. He was better when he was fat. Retief Goosen. Sergio, yeah, like you said, Paul Casey. A bunch of the European guys are here. Adam Scott, former winner. He won it last year, didn't he?
Adam Scott
won it last year. He'll be there. But I don't see any of the big five here. Do you?
No, you're right.
I don't see any of them.
I don't see one of them.
No, there is a guy, if I can find his name here, which I can. There is a dude here that's local, went to Dwyer High School, and actually came close to winning this tournament over the last couple of years. Finished second last year, I believe. And I can't find his name. Oh, Daniel Berger. That's him. Daniel Berger. He's playing with Ricky Fowler today at 12:45. They'll be teeing off on hole number 1. Yeah, Daniel Berger. So I'm going with the local guy since there's absolutely...
Tomorrow,
rather.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow. Sorry, today's Wednesday. The Finns Cup's today, but good luck getting that in. It looks like it's going to be sort of a hurricane today.
On the way in here, I'll hear it's supposed to be nasty weather.
Not good.
Now, what about? Is that going to continue through the week?
No, today is it.
Okay.
Yeah, today is going to be a little rough to get through, but tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all supposed to be absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, keep that name in mind. That's the guy that you want to root for, the local kid, somebody who grew up playing that course right around went to Dwyer, so we're rooting for him, man.
I mean,
or Cody Dribble, just because, or Gribble, rather. Did I say Dribble? I like the guys with the names. 844-640-6464. All right, so Rob Manfred came out absolutely swinging yesterday. Bent out of shape. Not a happy dude. Not a happy commissioner. He is, without a doubt, hell-bent on making sure that Major League Baseball shortens its games. Pace of play.
Right. We've heard of pitch clocks. We've heard.
Well, he wants a 3-tier system here in place to be able to combat the fact that most of these kids today can't focus for more than 30 seconds. So he wants a pitch clock. He wants to limit the amount of times you can go out to the mound.
Now, is that
want to do that?
The pitching coach only, or are we talking about the catcher as well?
It's no, it's he
all
wants
around?
Yeah, he wants pitch clock, limit mound visits, and change the strike zone. Those are the 3 things that he is hell bent on doing. He thinks those are 3 things that will absolutely help change moving forward the game. There are, and this isn't, by the way, this isn't by accident. He's been doing this in the minor leagues for a while now. And what a lot of people are saying, and what I'm hearing from those that actually, scouts that go to the minor league games, is that it's like night and day. Like when you go to a minor league game, they're subtle. You don't even see the pitch clock. They've been on a pitch clock. They've been limiting the amount of visits. But what they do notice and what they do feel is that the whole pace of it just seems to be moving much, much quicker. And if it gives the appearance that it's whether or not it's actually happening, if the appearance that the game is moving faster and that you can feel that in the stadium while you're watching the game, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well, I think if you're a fan and you can look up at a pitch clock, like in the NFL when you look at that 40-second clock, or in the NBA, the shot clock.
Yeah.
You know there will eventually come an end.
Yes.
The end is near, at least.
Yeah. But the problem is, and Rob Manfred wanted to get some of these things implemented this year, the problem is Tony Clark and the Players Association, the Players Union. Yeah, they're not having it. As a matter of fact, they have basically struck down all three of those things this year, and they were pretty adamant about it. And Rob Manfred yesterday, all sorts of shots fired. He was not happy, kind of telling the media that not only Tony Clark but the Players Union, like, they don't get it. And there is no negotiations. They just flat out said no. And he's not getting any support from them. And if you don't have the support of the players, obviously it's going to be very difficult to implement those kinds of things. More importantly, if you don't have the backing of the players, you're not going to have the backing of the umpires. And if the umpires don't change the strike zone or they don't enforce the pitch clock, you got a problem, Rob Manfred. But Rob Manfred pretty much drew the line in the sand yesterday and said, well, you guys keep having fun with this. Let me explain to you what's going to happen. What we're going to do is that if we cannot agree on these proposed rules, the CBA, the new CBA, they just signed, 3 months ago?
Yeah, back in December.
Yeah. It gives Rob Manfred the power to act with more than just words. See, he can actually do one of those things like an executive order, something like the president does. He goes in and he signs all. He can enact an executive order and just bypass everyone. The CBA gives him the power to do that, which means the players, whether they like it or not, will have to abide. He's got the power to do that. So he threw that 95-mile-an-hour fastball yesterday right under the Players Union chin and said, I don't want to have to do this, but I'm telling you right now, if you guys don't get on the same page, then come 2018, I'm just going to do it, and you're going to have to abide by it. And if you don't like it, 2021 is the next CBA. We'll figure it out then.
So he's setting the tone.
Absolutely.
For the next few seasons.
Yes.
At the very least.
Yeah, because he is letting, and it was kind of a warning shot, but he's letting not only baseball players, but the agents, the umpires, he's letting everyone know, okay, I'm trying to negotiate here. This is something that has to be done in order to evolve the game, which I happen to agree with. And he's saying that, I just want to remind you, I don't have to have your blessing. I'm asking for it, but in the CBA, I don't need it. You gave me that power. I have that power. I can sign this into effect immediately. You don't like it? Okay, strike. Let me see how that works out, that you want to give up that $200 million check, that contract. And listen, whether players want to admit it, whether the old-timers want to admit it, the purists want to admit it, pace of play is going to be an issue.
No, it is an issue, and visits to the mound is, in my opinion, the biggest issue.
Well, pace of action is also an issue. Not only pace of, but pace of action, too, because the numbers don't lie. Nobody's making this up. We're not making this up. And Rob Manfred didn't wake up one day and just be like, you know what? It would be great. I had a dream last night. If we threw a pitch clock out there, and I don't know, if maybe we didn't run to the mound like every two batters, or righty, lefty, righty. Yeah, maybe if
let's come down and calm the nerves because it's a tough road game.
Right.
In the second inning.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind, 75 million people went to Major League Baseball stadiums last year. 75 million people attended baseball games last year. So if you want to continue to grow that, and that's revenue, that's big-time revenue. If you want to continue to grow that, you also have to be willing to evolve and change with the times.
Well, this is the first time in a long time that baseball's not even evolving. He's making this a major, major issue. He continues to push it.
And it is. And his job as the commissioner is to evolve the game and make sure that the game stays in the forefront and not where you're losing more and more people, but you're gaining more and more people, or at least the next generation for that matter. And listen, players hate change. Nobody likes change, especially baseball players, because it is still filled in the minor league ranks with a bunch of guys that in my day, this is how we did it. We always did it here. Guys are quoting still Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays. Nobody cares. Nobody 12 cares about any of those people. That's not what they're interested in. This generation of millennials, yes, it's very simple for you to be 50 and sit back in your lawn chair on your driveway and be like, who cares? You don't like it, don't go to the game. Well, the problem with that is you're eventually going to die. And if you don't evolve the game, then those people that you said forget about, who cares what they want, yeah, they'll end up being the death nail in the coffin for baseball. So if you love the game of baseball, the answer isn't, who cares? The game is fine. Cares about these little bastards, whether they want to watch the game or not. Because if you care about the game of baseball, it has to evolve. This has to happen because this generation of baseball fan is not what we were growing up. It's not.
So are you in favor of this 4-pitch or the intentional walk signal?
No, I think that's it. That is all that is a puff piece. It's a nice PR piece to say, hey, look, we're doing something. The reality is, over the last 3 years, by making intentional walks automatic, you cut 23 seconds off a game on average.
And when you send a pitcher out there, and I'm going to bring up Chris Davis because nobody strikes out more than Chris Davis, maybe you want to pitch around and see if you'll swing at a strike, and then you'll actually pitch to him. Yeah. So now what's the decision? Can you throw 2 pitches and make a signal to the dugout that you want to intentionally walk them?
Oh, and by the way, they don't even walk anybody, and nobody is that feared anymore. Where the amount of walks.
You brought up the stats a couple weeks last week.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
We're not in the Barry Bonds era.
No. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Listen, you'll want a double play ball, in the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning.
Yeah.
But.
And the average time of games last year increased by nearly 5 minutes. All right? And there was a reduction of more than 6 minutes the year before. Home runs are up since 1980, 32%. The problem is strikeouts are also up by nearly 70% from 1980.
Can't put balls in play.
Can't put balls in play.
That's big.
The Yankees just signed a guy from Milwaukee, correct? Carter?
Yes, Chris Carter.
It's either home run or strikeout.
It's hit or bust. Yeah, you're 100% right.
And nobody wants to see that. So pace of action is a big problem because you're either hitting a home run or you're striking out, and that's a big problem. That is a big, big problem.
Well, that's why a lot of these home run hitters, Matt Wieters included, I know he's coming off some injuries, but these guys sat around for a long time. Batista.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to touch these guys.
Nope.
They were going after relief pitchers, starting pitchers, young infielders.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not, I know some will say that it's not, that it's somehow or another the idea that it would be replay. Like replay is the problem. Replay is not the problem. The numbers on the replay system show quite simply that replay has no bearing on the amount of time in a game for the amount of times that it is used over the course of 162 games.
They've been good about the time frame when reviewing a play. Now, their actual review and whether they get the call right and the interpretation, that's a different story.
Yes.
But as far as time, no, I don't know.
The average length of review last season was the lowest in 3 years that the system has been in place. So it's not affecting that. I'll tell you what is affecting it. The percentage of balls in play last season was an all-time low. The relief pitcher usage per game, a record high. When you combine those two things, good night. Wake
that was
me
the
up.
Postseason, too. That was the Indians. Pitchers going 4 innings, you go right to the bullpen.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the new wave of baseball, but...
And what a pitch clock will do is reduce mound visits. Right. By making the strike zone a little bit higher, that's going to make guys put more balls into play instead of fishing away. So what he is proposing To a lot of people, yeah, it may seem drastic, but the reality is it's not drastic. It's something that needs to be done for the longevity of the game. And if you truly love baseball, you can't just be flicking your finger going, yeah, you damn kids, the game is fine. You don't like it, don't go. Yeah, okay. And then you're going to die, and then nobody's going to games, and the game's over. So congratulations.
Well, all other three major sports have evolved. The NFL's become an offensive league, as has the NHL, as has the NBA.
He's going to have a fight on his hand. Rob Manfred is going to have a fight on his hand.
Players are already upset about the potential pitch clock. And I'm not just pitchers.
Yeah, but P.S., they were also pissed off about the sliding into second base. But you know what? We managed to get through the... Is anybody even talking about that this year? And I can tell you right now, they'll never admit it, but I know for a fact a number of shortstops and second basemen in Major League Baseball that are thankful that rule has come in. So they, because the game is safer now for them, you don't have guys getting killed. Again, the stink that they brought up about that, having to do running into the catcher. Remember Buster Posey running into the catcher? Anybody complaining about running into the catcher now? I know catchers aren't.
Ruined it. It ended his season. And almost his career. I mean, he was lucky enough he was to come back from that, but not many players could.
And nobody has complained ever. In the beginning, it was a little rough, but the reality is we got by it, didn't we? And we'll get by this, too. It's just that initial shock of, whoa, 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 what do you, don't change. We don't like change. Nobody likes it. It's like throwing a cat in a tub filled with water. You ever see that cat? You ever try to throw a cat in like a pool? Yeah, or like a tub, that cat is like sprawled out, man. He's clawing. He's like, no way. You are not throwing me in a pool of water. Yeah, that's what players are. Nobody likes change. But you'll get over it. And trust me, it's the best for the league. And the guys in the minor league system, I'm telling you, the scouts are documenting. They're saying, we can't see the pitch clock. We know it's there, but we can't see it. But what has happened now is the game is the pitchers know now in the back of their mind. The players know. Everyone knows. And the pace of the game. It's like, wow, these things are really moving here. And then you go to, like you said, like a Cleveland Indians game. We got 47 pitching changes, 27 timeouts. You know, you get the guy from the Cardinals. Everything's a double switch. I got this. I got that guy. Bring this guy in over here. We're going to bring him over here. It's like, come on. Stop overthinking the damn game. And that's the other problem. Is you got so much analytics playing such a big part, which is definitely part of the game today. It shouldn't be the end-all, be-all. But you've got these matchups, lefties, righties, go here, there, switch this guy, bring him over there. Who we got on the bench? Next thing you know, it's extra innings. We ran out of players.
Well, in the American League, you can be a manager and sit back for 6 innings. In the National League, you got a game plan because your pitcher comes up to bat.
Or you know what happens is just raise the strike zone a little bit, and guys will put more balls in play, and things will happen. Could you?
Guys will take a seat quicker also, next man up.
Since 1980, you're telling me strikeouts have increased nearly 70%? That's embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
Remember how embarrassing it was to strike out growing up playing the game? Like in Little League? Like if you struck out, you were like, oh, God.
If you got to 150 strikeouts in Major League Baseball 10, 15 years ago, it was big. Guys are cracking 200 every season.
Just put the damn ball in play.
Chris Davis, I think, had 220 last year.
Changes. Who cares? You damn kids. Yeah, well, in 30 years when there's no more baseball because you didn't care about those damn kids, you're going to be dead, and they're the ones not going to the games. Just saying. Could you imagine if, like, the NFL took that stance? Like, what's the difference? This is the way we always did it. We'd have somebody killed already on the field. Somebody would have been murdered. Clothesline in.
Well, I can't.
Like Tatum, could you imagine?
I can't stand the offensive rules.
Yeah.
I personally, the defensive backs are handcuffed.
It's
too much.
If none of them evolved, if we were still doing the same stuff we were doing, allowing the stuff to get away like we did back in the 60s, oh, come on. In football especially, you got destroyed.
When Dan Marino was throwing the ball, guys were getting clotheslined 30 yards down the field.
Yeah. Could you imagine that happening now? Like, I wouldn't want Khalil Mack clotheslining me over the middle. Like, I would not want that. 844-640-6464. 844-640-6464. All right, we got 1 hour in the books here. We still got much to get to today. More on the NBA and just the fun that is the Lakers and the Knicks and There seems to be this big uproar right now over what happened at the All-Star game. Guys like Reggie Miller and Kevin Garnett are fed up. Every story out is like these, like, get off my lawn. They're like the old guys screaming and yelling. Stop it. Oh, and don't forget about Goose Gossage. Got to get to him, too. You know it's baseball season when crusty and cranky old Goose Gossage has got something to say.
I just think he shows up.
Just to be a Just
just hoping
douche.
someone puts a mic or recorder in front of him and he says something outlandish and headlines.
I think it's great. We'll talk about all that coming up next. Raineri and Zemach, 640 Fox Sports South Florida.
The Los Angeles Lakers announced a major front office shakeup yesterday. Magic Johnson will be the team's new president of basketball operations. General manager Mitch Kupchak and VP of basketball operations Jim Buss were both relieved of their duties. In Magic Johnson's first move since taking over, he traded Lou Williams to the Houston Rockets for Corey Brewer and a first-round draft pick. In baseball news, the Washington Nationals reached an agreement with former Baltimore Orioles catcher Matt Wieters. The deal is for 2 years and $21 million. Wieters has an opt-out clause after the first season. In hopes of improving pace of play, Major League Baseball has approved a change to the intentional walk rule, going from the traditional 4-pitch walk to a dugout signal. The intentional walk rule will go into effect this season. The Honda Classic brings the world's best PGA Tour players to Palm Beach County. The opening round kicks off tomorrow. 640 Fox Sports South Florida is your home for Florida Panther hockey. Tonight, the Cats welcome in the Edmonton Oilers. Puck drop from the BB&T Center is scheduled for 7:30. For all the latest in sports news, log on to foxsports640.com. I'm Steve Zemach.
Welcome in and happy Wednesday. Raineri and Zemach, 640 Fox Sports South Florida. Getting ready for the Honda Classic. Not so much today as the Finns Cup and the Pro-Am might have to take a back seat due to the fact that the weather is just quite abysmal. Looking at the weather map here in South Florida, it looks quite like a Picasso. There's a lot of purples, or maybe a Pollock. Maybe that's a Jackson Pollock. A lot of purples, yellows, green. This map looks like Armageddon is almost upon us. So I would not anticipate a lot of outdoor activities today, but the good news is for the Honda Classic that the weather looks like it's going to shape up to be fantastic Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, still tickets available, make sure you head out to the Honda Classic. We'll be broadcasting there tomorrow and Friday. We'll be doing the wrap-up show with the legendary, the one and only Russ Evans from the Golf Exchange.
I like Russ.
What, did I say anything? You guys were no, you
Legendary?
guys. Hello, him and Grady. Both of them. Fantastic. Make sure you check it out. Hey, am I the only one, by the way? I find it a little creepy. I mean, listen, we all shut up, will you? Already, Johnny Cash. Damn it. Oh, shut up. Am I the only one that finds it a little strange that Facebook, like, you'll have a conversation about something the night before, and then when you wake up and you start scrolling in your news feed on Facebook, all of a sudden there's, like, advertisements for what you were talking about the night before. Like, I have, all of a sudden, I wake up this morning and I've got nothing but, like, handcuffs and ball gags all over my news feed here, and I'm, what, am I the only, what?
Probably, yeah.
I'm the only one there? I'm
The
just
mics
saying, I think
on.
it's a little
the mics
weird.
Are on, just saying.
Oh, it's a good point. It is a little weird, though, isn't it? Like this, what goes on there with that? Like, what happened? It's way too weird.
I've noticed if you have a conversation, it picks up words, I don't know, through your microphone on your phone, and you'll see advertisements on, like you said, Facebook, Twitter, one of the two.
You know, Facebook especially, because all of a sudden you'll start seeing all these ads, and I'm going, what? Or you'll be watching a show, and you'll have just seen a commercial for something, and then you're searching, and you're like, what? There it is again. Like, is it listening? It is listening, is it not?
No, it is. About a week ago, I was talking about Under Armour for an extended period of time because Under Armour and the Nike and the whole Trump crap that's going on.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Under Armour ads are now popping up on my phone.
No, it's scary. Scary. Somebody also told me, I guess, that smart TVs, like somebody just paid out, maybe it was Vizio or somebody, apparently has had to pay some sort of fine because the smart TVs are actually listening to you. Yeah. Hey, look, it's creepy, man. It's creepy.
Hey, if you have a MacBook, your microphone is on constantly unless you go into the function, turn it off, into the settings. It's on all the time.
It's a little creepy to me.
Just saying.
Not that I don't like the ease of having to go to Amazon and get a ball gag, but I mean, come on. It's like, really?
Hey, didn't you hear what Edward Snowden said? They're listening 24/7.
They are listening all the time, man. It's a little scary to me. Just a little scary. I find it weird. 844-640-6464. All right, so some interesting stuff going on. We've told you, if you're just waking up this morning, the idea that the Lakers continue to make the same mistakes that they have always made and expect a different outcome is truly the definition of insanity. Congratulations to Jeannie Buss for finally pulling the trigger and getting rid of her brother, who was completely useless, Jim Buss. Dad knew he was useless, which is why Dad, just before he died, gave just that much more control to Jeannie, because he was very afraid that Jim was a complete moron and he'd destroy the team, which he's pretty much done a fantastic job of. But the problem is Jeannie's making the vital mistake of, well, let's keep it in the Laker family. And the only problem with that is that Laker family and that idea pretty much died with your dad. You need to be looking as far away from anything Laker-related in order to be able to straighten this team out, because there's too much weaving and there's too much going on here. Magic. Now you're going to have Kobe. Now you're talking about bringing in what's the agent's name?
Oh, jeez. Polenta.
Polenta's actually good. I do enjoy a quality polenta. It's actually a good
Palinka.
meal. Palinka, yes.
Palinka. Rob Palinka.
Yeah, which was Kobe's agent. It's also Harden's agent.
Oh, he's got some big names.
He's got some big names.
Or he did it. Obviously, he has to cut ties at this point.
What are you doing? Since when are agents great evaluators of talent? You know, you don't see this in the NFL. You don't see Bill Belichick going, you know what, Tom Brady's agent, a really nice guy. I'd like you to become the general manager here and scout talent and tell me, you pick the players. I think that's going to be a great idea. No.
Well, he's got to build a front office. He's got to have more than one talent evaluator, and he's got to get some real scouts in there because they have a big hole to dig out of.
You got to get away from Laker Nation, man. Like, you've got to find somebody that's done an amazing job, like somebody like the president of the Golden State Warriors. That would be a great call. Like, call him and be like, hey, I'll give you $30 million. Just come down here and fix this nightmare that my brother put together. And Jeannie, to her credit, it's never an easy thing, but Jeannie said it, I think, perfectly on why it took her so long to pull the trigger on her brother Jim.
This was a very difficult decision. It was probably so hard for me to make that I probably waited too long. And for that, I apologize to Laker fans.
Yeah, well, you should, because you allowed him to bury it. And Dad knew it, man. Like, he knew it, which is why he gave Jeannie ultimate control. The reason Phil and Nick fans, you can also hate Jim Buss.
Well, the fact that Phil is there?
Yeah, because him not allowing Phil to stay in L.A. shipped him to New York. So congratulations. How's that treating you?
I don't want to hear the storyline that, he took Porzingis over Russell and whoever else. No, Porzingis fell to 4, and that's why the Knicks took him.
Yeah,
there was the big 3 that season coming out, and Porzingis was the odd man out, and the Knicks happened to go and take a flyer on him, and he happened to pan out better than Russell and Okafor.
Yep. I don't think it plays well with this upcoming generation. They didn't grow up with Magic. He's not a guy that they all grew up with going, wow, we love Magic. What a legend. They don't know. They grew up with LeBron and Carmelo. They didn't grow up with Magic. And an agent is not going to be a guy that's going to – he's just going to go, wow, I can get this guy for cheap, so let's get him in here. It's a bottom-line game with agents. They're all about personality and themselves and their clients and money. It's not about talent. You're not evaluating talent.
Well, to Magic's credit, yesterday he kind of said, this is a long-term process, at least 3 years. So – it's a wait and see. I mean, they're going to be bad for the next 2 seasons at the very least. Does Luke Walton last that long? I'm not sure.
And that's another thing, too. I mean, this organization has been so bad over the I don't know, as much as we've made fun of the Knicks and Dolan and Phil Jackson, what the Lakers have done over these last couple of years. They can't even get the coaching right.
To cater to Kobe also.
Catering to Kobe and... the one thing that Dr. Jerry Buss was great at is he always let contracts run out before he renegotiated. He never, with a year left, decided, all right, let's sign you on to an extension. Like, never. He would have never done what they did with Mitch Kupchak, who had a year left on his contract, and they gave him an extension anyway before it ran out. Like, that was never his M.O. Like, he said, well, you agreed to it, you'll play it out, and then when it's done, we'll see if we can come to an agreement.
And when he had to cut ties, he did.
Yes. And
Shaquille O'Neal?
No problem.
Gone.
Yep, no problem. But what he has done, you bring in the wrong coaches for the wrong players, and now you bring in Luke, who may very well be a great coach down the road, but who knows? You're not going to give him the players to find out.
And I don't know if he can hang around for 3 losing seasons.
And you've whiffed on talent now, 3 in a row? You've had 3 great lottery picks in the top 3, and Brandon Ingram is the only guy that looks like he's somebody.
He might be a future superstar.
That can be a future star. D'Angelo Russell's a nightmare. So good luck with that. Let me know how that works out, Magic. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to end up in total disaster. I think in another year or 2, we'll be having a totally different conversation again. Magic is going to somehow gracefully bow out, and he's going to give you the excuse of, I've got a lot going on. I got a lot to. I got a lot of. I wear a lot of hats. This is just becoming too much. And he'll just go back to watching the Dodgers continue to finish in second or third place and not be good enough to come out of the National League.
This is Jeannie. Whether it works or not, can we get young free agents in the room to sit with Magic, a legend, a Laker legend? And can he convince them that they are going to build the next Laker dynasty?
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is. And I think the telling sign of 2017 was when you couldn't even get Durant to come for an interview. Like he wouldn't even talk to the Lakers. Like people, it's not just like, well, it's the Lakers, it's the Showtime Lakers. You know how far removed the Showtime Lakers are? You know what I mean? You know how far removed it is? It's like nobody cares. Nobody wants to go play for them. They want to go to Golden State. They want to go to Young. They want to go to Hip. They want to go to, people who understand me. Like Boogie Cousins, if Boogie Cousins wanted to go to L.A., they could have pulled off that trade. And they tried. Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss tried to save their job by pulling off a Boogie Cousins trade. Oh, please. How would that have helped you? They wanted Brandon Ingram. Yeah. That's what Sacramento wanted, and they were like, oh, we're not going to do that. Well, why would you care? You knew you were getting fired anyway. I find it hard to believe that you didn't realize the axe was coming down.
The very next day.
Michael Corleone wasn't walking into the office and being like, you're all fired. You're all going. You're relieved. You're relieved of duty. Why don't we throw that up on our poll question today on Twitter? At RNZ Show is how you hit us up on Twitter. At RNZ Show. It'll be our scores. Gentlemen in Steakhouse, our favorite place, as a matter of fact. Our favorite gentleman's club, our favorite steakhouse, as a matter of fact. When you combine those two things, you've got heaven. That's what Scores is. Our Scores Twitter poll question of the day here. How is this going to end with the Lakers and Magic Johnson? Is it going to end up in a championship? Or is it going to end up on, War of the Worlds, like just flames and fire? I think flames and fire are coming. And I think Magic's going to tweet out, I got to find something else to do. I just bit off more than I can chew here. And then Magic will point the finger at Kobe and be like, you know what? It's Kobe's fault. Not going to end well. At RNZ Show, hit that up over there and tell us how you think this is going to end. Is it going to end up in a championship, or is it going to end up in even more misery? How many wins do they have this year? How many?
19,
honestly,
I believe.
No,
They started out 10-10, and they're now 19-39. So they've gone 9 and 29 in the past. Whatever. There you go. 38 games.
Well, here's what Magic thinks of his current young players.
We have some really talented guys. They got to get better.
Okay, there you go.
Who's that? D'Angelo Russell? You're singling out somebody there.
I listen. I think that's a great philosophy that young guys have to get better. I think this is only going to get better for the
Larry Nance.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Magic has recently. He was just hired yesterday, but he's already put out a commercial that they have running to Lakers season ticket holders and to the fans of the Lakers. Yeah. Take a listen.
The Los Angeles Lakers, suffering their third losing season in a row, but now with the clear leadership of Magic Johnson as president of basketball operations, he's personally inviting you to the Lakers games.
I need water, and I'll be fine. If somebody throw me some water, just throw it in here. I don't need you to bring it, just throw it. See there? See what happens? You got to keep it fun. Okay. Boom! Boom! Ready? Here we go. Come. Join me, because we're going to have a magical night. I know I messed it up, but it was still good. Here we go.
The Los Angeles Lakers, they're number 6 out of 7 in their division.